Good morning, bedheads. Click. How's it going today? Coffee with Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well. Check out this mug. We had this in the mug shop for a while and then I took it down because I wanted to. This is the one I ordered, but I wanted to put the lettering closer together. So we're going to put it back up today because, come on, don't look at me. I didn't vote for them. It's the best mug ever. I mean, I'm gonna have this on my book on my this would be like one of like five mugs I will always keep, right? We have buttons too. So anyways, there's a reason I'm using this mug today. You'll see it has to do with the SG message today from the pendulum. So they're being funny today. A little bit of humor today. But first I want to talk about the empath or the bully versus the empath, or the empath versus the bully. It doesn't really matter which order you put it in. But, and I'm going to give you an example, which I always do a lot of times from my own life. Okay. So I'm not looking for people's opinions about my story, but more I'm sharing it as a way to demonstrate something I'm learning. Okay. And then if you get anything out of it, that's amazing. So, one of the things that many of you know, if you've been here from the beginning, that my relationship with my biological dad is something that, for many, many reasons, just with every relationship, there's complexities, right? And so that is one of the things I am trying to come to terms with, let's just say, or my inner child is healing whatever, all the things that happened to my inner child with my relationship with my biological dad. Okay. So a lot of that work all my life, but it's just coming to a point right now with, I think, the energy, the divine feminine energy rising, which is part of the astrological changes that are going to be taking place, or are taking place right now for the next many, like thousands of years. Okay. Which is amazing for the earth. So that the masculine, so it's been overly masculine energy. It's been imbalanced for 250, 60,000 years. So it's now the feminine is rising, and this is an energy thing. It's not about like women versus men type of thing, but now it's becoming more of a balance. And many of us, I think, are feeling that, especially women. No. I don't know for sure, but what I would guess, it's not, again, not a man and a woman thing, is the feminine energy is rising in all of us, whether you identify as a male or not. Okay. So the feminine energy is rising in all of us is how I interpret it. You'll have to let me know how you interpret the divine feminine rising. I'm not an expert in that. But as it does, and especially as we do shadow work here, inner work, the reason, and for people who are new, the reason I'm working on doing shadow work and doing the inner work is because the goal for many of us in this community is to raise our vibration so that we have more of a relationship, a direct relationship with our spirit guides, which is one of the things we're working on in the channel, right? Each of us. And so, then you have like a direct connection. You get to have you're working on your relationship basically with your spirit guides, which, by the way, that is what I'm finding. I've only read the first two chapters. This is the book we're reading in book club right now in the Spirit Circle, Let Your Spirit Guide Speak. And I've just read the first two chapters because that's what's due tomorrow. We're starting it tomorrow. And so it's a real quick read, which I enjoy because it was pretty heavy what we did last month with the shadow work. But it's really about developing your relationship. It's strengthening your relationship with your inner guidance, your support team that you've had your whole life. So our spirit guides, which includes guardian angel and apparently a unicorn. So that's a whole story. But anyway, so that's what we're doing, strengthen our relationship. So let's get back to the empath versus the bully. Okay. So one of the things months ago that I remember, and I want to say maybe Tara Arnold, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. Whenever especially if I watch something today, I'll say, oh, I'm going to put the link to that video below, but I wouldn't be able to find this one because this is a message that I received months ago, and we talked about it then, was with the divine feminine rising. The other thing that's going on is that it is now the time astrologically for the empath energy to confront the bully energy. Okay. And because the bully energy, which sits in the imbalance of masculine divine energy, okay, which makes a little bit of sense, unfortunately. Well, when it's not balanced, right, what happens? That's where the aggression, it's just, we're talking about energy now, not any particular person, but, you can imagine if it's imbalanced, what happens when we have an imbalance of hormones, right, in our bodies. So you can imagine it's a little bit more aggressive. It's more war, more bully, right? Narcissism. Okay. So what I understood from whomever I got this information from, the channel, sorry, is that so many of us are empaths, especially light workers, are empaths, that we haven't been able to deal very well with the bullies in our lives. It's the bully energy, okay? And it's not that we haven't dealt with it well, but it's been a challenge. Let's just say it's been a challenge. And what I'm finding, and what this person said who channeled, was that it is time for the empath to say no more. We're done. I am no longer going to subject myself to the bully energy, is really what it is. Okay. And the empath is finding the courage to do that. That's what the energy is expecting of us. Okay. Not that we've all done it yet. I'm working through the courage right now. That's kind of what I wanted. That was the example I was going to share with you, is that I am working through the courage. I am working on raising my vibration. My vibration is raising enough to allow me to say no more. And what's really tricky is when the bully is your biological dad. And I don't mean I'm just telling bully energy. I'm not saying he is like a huge bully. I mean, I'll give you some examples, but I'm not saying like an abuser, like abuse. I think that's a different thing. So I'm just, again, talking about this different energy. And is becoming more and more clear to me, especially as I started doing shadow work. And then my sister's here right now. So her and I are always, she has so much more perspective of us growing up because she remembers those things. She was older than me. Okay. So she's helping me recall some things and understand some things that I haven't been able to recall. Okay. And why has this always been an issue for me, type of thing. Okay. So, so that, now I'm trying to, the challenge now for me, okay, is that I have decided, as the empath who's saying no more to the bully energy, is that I will not put myself in that position anymore. I will no longer go there to have that bully energy come at me. Okay. That's very tricky. So that's the part that's harder, because these are my family members. These are people that I usually go and visit at Christmas and go and visit at, my dad's birthday and Father's Day or whatever. But I am no longer willing to put myself in that position, right? So I am to a point where he's going to be getting a letter helping him. I'm going to explain how I feel. I'm going to write it, let it sit for a while, probably have my sister read it, just because my goal is that for the rest of his life, he doesn't sit in guilt. That's not my goal. My goal is just to help him understand why I'm not coming and that it's okay. It's okay. I don't hate him. I love him. I love, if I look at it from a soul contract perspective, I love that that he gave me this opportunity to grow, to stand in my truth, to say no finally. 56 years old, I'm finally saying no. I'm sorry. I'm not going to put myself in that position. And let me just give you an example. So between him and one of other family member, okay, they have a tendency, they both have bully energy. And anytime I would walk into the house, there would be something, my dad would say something that is not overly egregious, but it would shock me. It would shock me. It would shock my empath. It would be like, here's an example. So, and again, this one example may not help you understand, but when it's on top of, right? Example after example after example, every single time. Okay. So it's okay. So like one summer, a year ago or so, we were having a family party, and I was there. And the first thing these two people said to me when they walked in the door, now I haven't seen them for 5 months. The first thing, and this is my biological dad, is he said, well, I thought you were going to have a pool party this year. With that tone, right? I thought you were going to have a pool party this year. Like, that's the first thing. And then this other person was right next to them. Yeah. Oh, you're going to bully. Yeah. Just real bully. Like, are you serious? That's what you're bringing up right now? Like, where did that even come from? But that's the only way that they know how to interact with me, because they don't do that to anybody else. And that is every time, like if I show up at my dad's house, the first thing he'll say to me is something like that, something I haven't done. And it's usually stuff I actually have done and then he forgot. But for some reason, he feels a reason to call me out. And there's a couple of reasons for them. One, they think it's funny. Two, they don't know how to interact with me. I mean, it's really clear. Like they don't know how to just say, oh, hi, nice to meet you, or nice to see you again. I love you. It could be just that easy, but they don't do that to anybody else, because I am the strongest empath in the family. I'm the strongest feeler in the family. Right. So I am just realizing that that's why every time I leave those parties, which is like 3 times a year, it takes me 5 days to recover from them. But it's because of that bully energy. Now, they only do it once. It's right when I get there. And every time I get there, I think to myself, it's like, for 3 weeks, I have to prepare myself to go. And I never really understood why. Until recently, until this energy thing, until I understand this bully empath energy thing, right? So I 3 weeks, I'd see the calendar and I'd be like, oh, I gotta go. And I really love, for the most part, I love going to those and hanging out with all the rest of my family and everything. But I would, for some reason, I was spending 3 weeks, and this is like my whole life, like spending 3 weeks, like, oh, I gotta go. I'd get this in my face, and then the rest of the party would be fine. They wouldn't say anything else like mean to me or anything like that, and then I'd spend 5 days decompressing that. Okay. So this has been my pattern until recently, while I understand this energy thing. So now I understand. It's very refreshing to understand the empath versus the bully energy, because it obviously, if I really do all the work we've been doing here in the community about soul contracts and, just everything we've been talking about over the months, which, we have playlists. You guys, you can go back through all the playlists and watch. Most of the videos are not timely, so, but now that I understand, like there's no doubt it was in there, and I'm not making excuses for them, because now there's going to be consequences because I'm not going to come. But I do appreciate, if it's been in my soul contract for the empath to finally say enough to the bully, they have given me ample opportunity to now do that. And I'm finally doing it. I'm finally doing it. So the thing that's challenging for me as a feeler is that I don't want to hurt their feelings. I do not. That is not my intention, but I want them to understand that this is how it's been for me. And so that's the tricky part, is how to give somebody that feedback, that and especially people who are not ready to go from where they're at to the 5D. Like these are people who I suspect are not ready, and that's okay. It's totally okay. If you listen to, you guys got to listen to Spirituality with Sam. She has I'll post this playlist below. She has a 3D to 5D playlist. It's like 4-minute videos. And I watched the whole thing in like 30 minutes. It is so helpful. We're going to be talking about that more. She really helps you understand the 3D to the 5D. And she said there's not, even though the 3D is more in the drama and stuff, it's not that there's not one that's better. They're just different experiences. It's just like spirits that decide to come to Earth to have a different experience, or spirits who decide to go to a different galaxy to have a different experience. They're just different experiences. Okay. So that so these two people, I believe, are not, their soul contract is not ready, or the spirit is not ready to go to where I'm going, to the 5D. I'm working on, doing that. And I think my spirit is, not just Karen the human. Okay. So my spirit is working on doing that. I don't think these two are there. So it's going to be, I don't know what they're going to hear. You know what I mean? So that's the challenge as a human, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I also want people to understand why I'm not coming anymore. So the human feeler, Karen, has to work that part out. So I think I'm just sharing this as an example for others who might be going through the same process, or just starting this process, that maybe you'll have an aha, because I recently am just having my ahas. And so that's what I do here during Coffee with Karen, is share my ahas. So hopefully that's helpful. I feel much lighter. It's not an easy process, though. It's not an easy process at all. When we get to a 30-day challenge, which we will in the future, when we get to the 30-day challenge, speaking of 30-day challenges, sign up for the newsletter right here, because I'm going to send an email out today about the 30-day challenge, the first 30-day challenge we're going to do. Okay. So, when we do the 30-day challenge on not taking anything personally, what you have to understand is when you do a challenge like that, or when you do a challenge like that, you have to expect the universe to give you opportunities to not take things personally. So things will come to you. So if you're an empath standing in your power and telling the bully no more, the universe is going to send you that energy until you don't even really recognize it anymore, until it doesn't trigger you anymore. So that's where the tricky part of this spiritual work is, because the universe, if you're going to work on those things, the universe has got it. They have to give you, it has to send you experiences and opportunities to practice it. Otherwise you wouldn't learn it, And so actually my sister and I were just we'll talk about this in more in depth, maybe tomorrow or sometime, the 3D versus the 5D. As we are working to get to the 5D, our souls, our spirits are working to get to the 5D, and our human selves, you have got to have experiences of the 3D in order for you to keep working on that, you're going to get, so it's not like this. It's not like I'm going to do spiritual work and I'm just going to go and we're going to be right here and I'm going to stay here. No. I don't think that's how it works. I think it's like spiritual work, and then you're here, and then let's just say the 3D, 5D's here. And so you do some spiritual work, you're up here, and then that feels good for like a week, and then something pulls you down here. You're not quite down there. You're not all the way down. Something's not okay. And now you're like, dang, I'm feeling that. And because you felt that, you dealt with it, you journaled about it, you talked about it, you did some inner work. Now you go a little higher. Then you sit here for a while, you recalibrate. Your body recalibrates, your spirit recalibrates. Then the universe says, okay, We're ready to go to the next level. We're going to send you some more of this stuff. Might even be harder this time. So now you're like, oh, I'm down here. Okay. So you see what I mean? It's like this little ladder thing that we go to, and you're recalibrating along the way, which is why I slept 15 hours a couple days ago. you know. So kind of interesting. These are all things I'm just learning through experience right now. I am not an expert in this. It's just stuff I am learning through experience and sharing with you. Okay. So let me know. I mean, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? It's kind of fun to think about. Okay. We had a really funny message from the SGs today. Spirit guides, just a reminder, I asked them using a pendulum and this map. The person who makes these is on our business directory. Okay. So if you haven't signed up, if you have a small business and you would like to be on our business directory, there's a small fee for that because we're, you're going to get quite a bit of advertising from us because I'm going to use things and talk about things just like this. We've got a couple more days before the early bird special. You always be able to sign up, but the early bird special will be over for that on May 1st. But she'll be on there. So just wait. We're going to be starting to send out the directory. So you'll be able to, get that if you wanted to get one of these. They're cool because they're metal and they're super flat. Obviously they're flat. So, okay. So I used the pendulum. I did my prayer. I asked the SGs for a message. I want you to remember that several months ago, well, maybe several weeks ago, let's see. They gave a message. Oh, did I just split my nail? Ouch. Ow. Their message was, Elon, you suck. The reason I'm telling you this is because this is right up that alley. Because sometimes we don't get a prolific message. Sometimes we get a funny message. And this is a funny message day, which is exactly why I used this mug today. Because I thought, okay, well, what's mug's appropriate for this message? Don't look at me. I didn't vote for them. This is their message today. So if you're wondering what that says, if you're listening, it says TRUMP, so F45, and then they just spelled out FU. Yes, spirit guides can be funny. And that's how they feel. That's what they wanted us to know today. Okay? So, like when they said, Elon, you suck, that was the first one that was not like, I was like, seriously? That's what you want me to tell them? So that's what they spelled out today. Trump FU. Oh my gosh. Pretty funny. Okay, so let's go ahead. These are the cards they wanted us to pull from today. So when I did, actually my sister watched me do this today with the pendulum and pull the, which card deck they wanted. We decided tomorrow she will record me because I just don't have a setup to record the pendulum work. So we're going to record tomorrow and then we'll have that up so you can see how the pendulum works for me. Okay. Okay. So this is the card deck they wanted me to use. I will post that below if you want to know which one that is. So I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, and all of those of the highest and purest light. And I ask Archangel Michael to please protect this channel and this community so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. Good morning. I don't think I drank enough water this morning. My throat is a little dry. Okay, so do you guys have a message through the Enchanted Map Oracle for us today? Yes, awesome. Okay, and let me just ask you, so your message through the pendulum was Trump FU, is that correct? Yes. Okay. Was that just to be somewhat lighthearted today, knowing that energy is pretty dense right now? Yes. Okay. Is it also a message for us that it is okay for us to say FU to him? To that, it's the bully energy, isn't it? Oh, that's interesting, you guys. I just made that connection. Yes. It's the same thing. I just made that connection. You always get to see me make connections real time. That's exactly what it is. Because he's a bully, right? That's what narcissistic energy is. It's like the bully. He's the bully. We get to say F you to the bully, which is, and it's like not necessarily to him and his spirit, it's to the energy, it's F you to the energy. So what's really interesting is that from my conversation with my sister this morning about this energy and how it's affecting my life, is how I was like, oh, that's a good topic for Coffee with Karen this morning. This is how I come up with them. Just whatever comes up. But then they gave me that pendulum message and I didn't connect it right away until this very moment. I was pulling my basket out and I think my nail just I think it went way down there. Ow. Looks like a little, you know how it's weird how your nail can bend over sometimes? It's just bizarre when that happens. Okay. So really, was your message, your pendulum message, not necessarily, let's just say Trump, but was it about, could you have easily just said bully F you? Or bully energy F you? Yes. Okay. So are you really responding that it's okay for the empaths to say F you to the bully energy? Okay. And giving us, yes, yes, yes. And giving us permission to do that. Yes. Because sometimes we need, empaths kind of sometimes we need validation, and I know you'll say, well, you don't need validation. Well, sometimes it's helpful. Let's just say it's helpful, Okay. Let's see what they got for us today. Sorry about all the clearing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we are. Let's see what messages they have for us today. Okay, so I'd like to ask you guys to pull all the spirit teams in for anyone who's watching this now and in the future. And oh, I'm shuffling them upside down. That's funny. I think I have these. Yeah, this is a reversed. So this deck has a upright and reversed message. So I don't worry about, at one point I just kind of did this, get the cards kind of all over the place so that they are reversed or upright so that they can give us the right message. So I don't know. I think that's how you do that. So, okay. So from all the spirit teams, please, this is a collective message. What message would you like us to have today from the Enchanted Map from Colette Baron Reed? What message would you, like us to have for today? This is exactly how I do the shuffling of my own oracle decks. That one kind of stuck out a little bit. Okay, did you see those two? So those flew. Now we do have 3. Sometimes when they give us 3, then they do want me to do a pick one. So let me put those down and ask them. Okay. Do you guys want us to do a pick one today? Do you have 3 messages for us today? No. Okay. We did a pick one yesterday. If you're new here, a pick one would be then you you listening would pick the number. You would intuitively get a number 1 through 3, and then that's the card that you would get the message from. So, but today, do you only have 1 card message for us today as a community? Yes. Okay. Is the card in front of me right now? Yes. Okay. The card on the right? No, the card in the middle. Yes. The card on the left? No. Okay. So the card in the middle, is it in the direction you want it to be in? Do you want me to read it? Do you want me to read it reversed or upright? Do you want me to read it reversed? No. You want me to read it upright? Yes. Okay. All right. So let's see what these 2 are. Or this one. All right. Here we go. Here's the image. So 28, 2 plus 8 is 10. And then 1 plus 0 is 1. So it's a 1 card for those who dabble in numerology. What is that on there? Okay. See if you get any messages from that image. And the word is movement. Movement. Okay, let's see what that's all about. So this is upright. Movement. Okay. Oh, I like this. This is for all of us. You are in a time of positive forward motion. We gotta like that, right? Yay! Okay. This is the time. So this is upright. We have an upright and reversed. This is the time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. Remember, we were talking about the empath versus the bully energy, okay? Yours might be something else or just a bunch of other things, okay? You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't the time for fear. Let it go and move forward. That's awesome. That's really helpful for me because like as I get ready to communicate one final time with my dad and just let him know I love him, but that, it's just something I have to do. I just need the time away, and not putting myself in that position anymore. And then letting him deal with it the way he needs to deal with it, because I'm not going to be mean in the letter or whatever. So, yeah, that'll be nice when I can close that door finally. That'll be nice. That's my movement. What's your movement today? What is that card telling you today? So, all right, have an amazing day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.